The story of Kuki, the forgotten love at the port of Koh Sichang. The sea. For some, it is a symbol of freedom. For others, a symbol of loneliness. Every port offers new faces, new lives, but sometimes one encounter in a distant harbor can change a sailor's fate forever. This is not just the story of waves and ships. It is a story of hearts, coincidences, and bonds that seem impossible. Now, let me take you back to the early 1970s. The humid winds of Southeast Asia sweep across Thailand's Koh Sichang port. Here, loading and unloading are painfully slow, and ships remain anchored offshore for weeks. Sailors step onto land, some only to pass the time, others unknowingly stepping into the greatest journey of their lives. And in this ordinary port, where many sailors came only for fleeting pleasures, an extraordinary story began. In the early 1970s, one of the Turkish shipping company's tanker vessels anchored at Koh Sichang. Because the bay was too shallow, large ships had to anchor a mile offshore, unloading cargo onto barges that carried it piece by piece to the shore. The moment the anchor dropped, small boats swarmed toward the vessel. With them came supplies, refrigerators, music systems, chairs, even tents. A floating bar would be set up on the ship's deck, and along with it, dozens of women. This was the unspoken rule of Koh Sichang. The harbor authorities, the suppliers, and the women all worked together. If the captain refused, the cargo operations could be delayed or sabotaged. Every sailor was expected to take a woman during the ship's stay. Even those who never touched them were pressured to at least choose one. Refusal meant suspicion, rumors, and harassment. And so, a strange married life would begin on every ship. Women cooking, cleaning, and sharing the cabins of the sailors until the voyage resumed. But these women lived under brutal rules. Jealousy could turn deadly, and fights often broke out. On that ship was the chief engineer, a quiet, introverted man. Unlike the other sailors, he wasn't interested in partying. Yet under relentless pressure from his shipmates, he reluctantly agreed to take a woman to his cabin. That night, nothing happened. The young girl assigned to him was just 15 years old. It was her first time on a ship, her first night in such a place. Her name was Kuki. When morning came, she wept. She thought the man had rejected her, that she wasn't good enough. She feared punishment from the mama-san who had sent her, feared losing her place, feared disappointing her starving family back home. The engineer, confused, tried to comfort her. He gave her money, gestured for her to stay in the cabin, and later asked another woman, one who spoke some English, about Kuki's story. He was shaken to the core. That night, he fell in love with her. From that day until the ship's departure, Kuki never left his cabin. And when the vessel finally set sail, amid the chaos of departure, she stayed aboard. No one noticed until it was too late. Rumors spread across the ship. The chief engineer had kidnapped a young woman. The chief engineer had brought a girl from home. What girl? No one knew. But when the ship docked in Turkey, the mystery was solved. The chief engineer disembarked at his hometown, Ereğli on the Black Sea, bringing Kuki with him. She was overwhelmed. A girl from a small Thai village suddenly transported across continents to an unfamiliar land. His family was shocked. Who was this foreign girl? Why had their son married her? But Kuki stayed. For 2 years, she endured. She couldn't speak Turkish and only knew a few words in English. So she spent most of her time alone. She missed her family terribly. Finally, she begged her husband to let her return. The process was long and painful. Kuki had no passport, no identity papers at all. It turned out she had been smuggled into Turkey. The chief engineer, meanwhile, was a well-respected man in his community. He took care of the townspeople, the elderly, and the orphans. Everyone loved him. When he disappeared, people were worried. Where did he go? What happened to him? After months of struggle, the engineer managed to arrange Kuki's journey back to Thailand. He gave her enough money to survive and promised her a safe return. But she never came back. Years later, Kuki rose to become the most powerful mama-san of Koh Sichang. She commanded hundreds of women, and every Turkish ship that anchored there knew her name. She spoke Turkish fluently and laughed at the stunned faces of sailors who could not understand how a Thai woman in this remote port spoke their language. She never forgot her love. Every time a Turkish ship arrived, she searched the faces of the men, hoping to see him again. And when Turkish sailors were stranded without supplies or money, it was Kuki who helped them, without asking anything in return. To this day, among sailors of the long East Asian voyages, Kuki of Koh Sichang is remembered as a legend. This story was told in 1997 by Kuki herself, half in Turkish, half in broken English, to a sailor nicknamed Man Overboard. And even then, her eyes still searched every Turkish ship that came into the harbor, hoping to find the man she once followed across the world. Some stories are written by the sea, some are written by fate. This one was written by both. If you want to hear more forgotten stories of history, philosophy, and humanity's hidden corners, subscribe to MindSnap. Every week, we uncover the untold tales that challenge, inspire, and move you. Don't just watch, be part of the journey.